Hello, this is R Rats with Team 4545 League, analyzing the game between BYO B69 and Truxton. This was played in Team Event 53 in Round 2. And let me give you the backstory on this game. It's got a lot of backstories to it. Truxton had seen the game I had made a video for that he had played in Round 1, and he told me he enjoyed it and thanked me for making it. And thank you, too, for saying that. And he mentioned that I ought to have a look at this game, and then he gave some notes to it, which I will get to when we reach the position that those notes apply to. But I thought I would explain the backstory to this. There's several. First, what I want to do is show you an opening I've often played as white. I mainly use it for blitz, and it's a little off-the-wall stuff, and I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it again. It's Trompovsky attack. Now, one move that black often plays, and I run into in blitz a lot, is knight e4. Now, the bishop's under question, so I play bishop h4, and many times black has gone ahead and played g5, figuring he's going to corral the bishop pair. So anyway, if white could play bishop g3 here, and after knight takes, pawn takes, black has got the bishop pair, but he's completely undeveloped. White has an open file, so black may not want to castle kingside here. He might, prepare it with the h6 and bishop g7 and so forth, and then move the d-pawn and send the knight over to d7 and f6. Black might do something like that. You don't know, but he's still got to cover his king position, make sure it's not vulnerable. But anyway, I don't play bishop g3. Now what I do, I'll show you. I have this little trick I learned back around 1975 or so. f3. And very subtle little move. And suddenly black says, whoops, well, I can't move my knight. Okay, if black moves his knight like to d6 or f6, white just gobbles the pawn on g5 and is happily a pawn ahead. Plus he's got an imposing pawn center. Okay, so what black has to do here is commit to taking on h4, and then white takes on e4, and he's got this neat little pawn center. And the pawn on h4 is weak. It could become a target. The knight will go to f3. That's one piece attacking it, which might tie the queen down to it. And then white just needs to bring another attacker over and win it. And in some cases, black has played h3 at some point, figuring that after the knight goes to f3, figuring, well, if you're going to win the pawn, I'll give you double pawns. And you can often just go by with g3 and surround it and win it later. But anyway, that's not important. What black will usually do in this position is c5. And the move I play is e3. And I've had this position many times. And black will often come out queen b6. And I've seen this position many times. So what do? Well, I've discovered that the best move here to play is b3. And the reason is that I want to safeguard the pawn on b2. Okay, that's the reason. Now, the rest of the way this game plays out is not all that important. Usually black will play bishop h6, and then white goes queen d3, and who knows what happens after this point. But I'm familiar with this. I've played it. I can play it again. Probably will play it again someday. You never know. But let's go back to the outset. What's interesting, the reason I just showed you that was the very first video I made for Team 45 League was in just last event, Team 52 in the third round, and a game had already been submitted for analysis and our consideration for the Game of the Week prize, and I think I'd already posted some comments, and I said I had a surprise coming, and that to enhance the experience here in the Game of the Week threads, and that was videos, because I can say so much more in a video than I can just by typing out notes. And anyway, the very first game I did was, I'm pretty sure it was the first game, Chatica versus Jarobo. And that game kind of followed what we're doing here, and there'll be a difference. I'll show you in a moment. Okay, this game goes this way, but let me just show you, even though they're bad moves, let me just reach the position with Chatica and Jarobo. The whole difference was these two moves had been played just a little bit earlier, and now we reached this position. And my comment, what Chatica played here was queen c1, And I talked about that move, and I talked about one other move just based on pure instinct. What do I do in this type of position when my B pawn's attacked? Well, I play B3 and end the case right there. And then I went on and about the rest of the game, and I received this personal message from someone on ICC that was criticizing me for not analyzing everything out or seeing everything. And I got this comment: I can't believe you didn't see or consider knight c3. It's a known move in this position, and it's the best move, develops with tempo, and black cannot take on b2 or he loses. Well, fine. Honestly, I didn't know that. Now I did. I learned it right there. But to respond to this question, I kind of felt a wee bit insulted, but I took it with a grain of salt, and I just made a response video. I said, well, why didn't I consider knight c3? And I could have said, well, I didn't see it, but I later admit there's a lot of things I don't see. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to see everything. And the first point I try to make in that backup video, as I was saying, a lot of chess authors and writers and so forth, they're very, very careful about how they present their material. They don't want to have one single flaw in what they analyze. It's like, and there's this movement against chess masters that when somebody publishes an incorrect note, these people that really aren't all that good, they go and they scour over this master's notes like with a fine tooth and comb, so that they can find a flaw, and then they can publish somewhere, oh look, Grandmaster Benko said play this move, and if you play that move you lose, look what I found, you respond this, ha ha ha. Well, number one, that doesn't make this person a grandmaster like Benko is. And so what if Benko made a mistake, so what? We all make mistakes when we play, when we analyze. When we're playing, don't tell me when we're analyzing a game that any of you don't analyze a move that's a mistake. You find it a very good continuation, and if you're carefully analyzing it, everything looks right, but there's this one little fly in the ointment that spoils everything. But that's fine. At least you saw it before you played it. You didn't walk into something. Okay, so that's kind of like my point. Now, if you guys want perfection, and I've since stated my reasoning several times, if you guys want perfection in these videos, I'll give it to you. But it comes at a price. I'm going to spend 3 hours per video, and I'm going to make one video per round, and that's for the game I select as Game of the Week, because I don't have time to sit here and find perfection. I make mistakes. There's one right here in this thread, McKnight's game. I missed something. So what? He corrected me. It's in the notes, and that's how you improve. Same thing with any opening. Openings, somebody plays an opening forever, everything's fine. All of a sudden, some clever person comes along and finds a nice reply, brings as a novelty in a game, and wins nicely, and he gets all kinds of praise because he found it. So, so what if I make a mistake in analysis? I don't understand it. This is when we discuss chess, and that's what these videos are for. When we discuss chess, the point is we're going to put variations out and start talking about them. Now, I don't get a lot of participation in every game, and some I don't get any at all. But sometimes we have some pretty interesting discussions on what's happening in these games. And that's the whole key to improve. Analyze. Just keep analyzing and tearing it apart, looking deeper and looking deeper. The more you look, the more practice you got under your belt, and the better a player you are. So, but anyway, back to this position. If black plays queen takes b2 in this position, white wins with knight b5. Now I could put the analysis thing on here. I'll just do it for a second and show you. Watch. So actually shows white behind here. Dang, it's supposed to be a dead winning for white. Well, now it's starting to come up. See? Okay, now see how the evaluation is moving up? White's winning. Okay, boom. Case in point. Now, I don't like to use computer analysis. Let me just shut that off. I will use it occasionally when something really requires it and it gets really complicated. But for the most part, we can leave the analysis to the postmortem and get more people involved, and they'll say something. So anyway, let's just suffice it to say that white wins this position. Okay, so let's go back to the main line. Now, there's one critical difference in this position that they reached, that these two players reached. The black pawn is on d7, not on d5, and the white knight is not on f3. And the fact that this pawn is on d7 makes all the difference in the world. and we'll the evaluation of the position. So let's see what white does. White could play b3, which is my recommendation. There's nothing wrong with it. But white plays knight c3, and I go, hey, hooray, look, there's Chattanooga, and I had to, or close to it. And what does black do now? When black plays queen takes b2. So now the question is white winning just like he was in the other game if this happens? And so I had to use Stockfish to verify it, because I'm not going to spend 5 hours on analyzing this thing just to prove a point. And I can still make an entertaining video by using it a little bit. But the whole difference is, after knight b5, black now has this move, knight d5. And that makes all the difference in the world, because c7 is now covered. And that's the difference. It's really remarkable. And essentially what happens with the computer evaluation, here I'll just show you, it's equal. Let's turn it on a second. See, equal. It's got the rook going back and forth on the queen, and draw. And if you're black playing at a team event, that's fine. You're happy with the draw, right? Let's pause it and get out of Stockfish. I don't want to show that. You're happy with the draw if you get it with black. So what I'd like to think is that Truxton saw that very first video and knew this, and knew that he could get a draw if he played this line. That's what I'd like to think. Now, whether that's the case or not, that's not important. But it does bring back memories of that very first video I made and the follow-up video I made, where I was justifying myself, and somebody made a nice comment in the YouTube section, said, you don't have to listen to these people, and justify yourself, you're doing fine. Well, thank you. But I'm sensitive, just like anybody is, and if I get criticized, I'll share my reasons why. So anyway, go back. Got to revert to the main line here. Okay, so black doesn't play knight d5. He plays knight a6. And white comes up with a new plan here. Rook b1, and we've seen that. Now we can go in for the draw. It's still there if I turn on Stockfish, and I'm not going to bother, but white finds this interesting move. Rook takes a6. Trying to refute the black opening. And actually, white's at a disadvantage here. And I'm not going to prove it, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so now white has this check, and the king has to go to d8, and then he eats the rook. And then this knight goes to d5, and the bishop comes back. Anyway, this is the point where Truxton left me a note that the outcome might have been different. I'll post it in the Game of the Week thread. He just mentioned this particular line. Who knows what would have happened after this check? King here, and bishop a5. So I'll show you what happens after this. First off, let's look at what white is threatening, and the best way to do that is to make it so it's white's move here. So let's just burn a move for black. Let's play something horrible. Black can do better, but I'm doing this so that white's on turn. Okay, now white gives a check, and then black has to go here. Then white gives another check. Just grab pawns while you're at it. Black needs to go back, and then white goes here, and black has to come back. Now we come back to b5 and check, and the king goes back. And now we gobble the knight. We can take it with the bishop. We can take it with the knight. I'd probably just take it with the bishop, attack the queen, keep the threat of knight c7 check alive. And black cries he's losing. But black doesn't have to play so generously. He can defend this, and he can defend it with e6. And as it turns out, while white doesn't have all the things, and I'm not going to sit here and verify it. It's something for anyone interested to sit here and play with, because I'm kind of running out of time on the video, but I like to spend 15 minutes. Sometimes I go over, but anyway, the point is, eventually this knight on a8 is going to be lost. It can't get out. It's going to take a while, but it can't get out. So white didn't go into this line. Black played something different here, or white played something different here. Instead of playing bishop check, he just found this clever move, queen d3, and that's a ouch. Black to play and do the best he can. Pause the video. Well, what'd you come up with? This is kind of an easy one, and that's to play queen c1 check. And what does white do? He has one legal move to get out of check, and that's give up the queen. So white resigned. because after queen d1, this is mate. Well, it's an extremely interesting game. It shows the difference between that and, according to the thing I showed you earlier, the other thing was a known book line. Maybe this is a known book line. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. You guys can tell me. We're in this together. I'm not all your answers. We all work together. We all get better, right? Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to making another video for you real soon. Take care.